A Modern Utopia by H.G. Wells. A note to the reader. This book is in all probability the last of a series of writings of which, disregarding certain earlier disconnected essays, my Anticipations was the beginning. Originally, I intended Anticipations to be my sole digression from my art or trade or what you will of an imaginative writer. I wrote that book in order to clear up the muddle in my own mind about innumerable social and political questions I could not keep out of my work, which it distressed me to touch upon in a stupid, haphazard way, and which no one, so far as I knew, had handled in a manner to satisfy my needs. But Anticipations did not achieve its end. I have a slow, constructive, hesitating sort of mind, and when I emerged from that undertaking, I found I had still most of my questions to state and solve. In Mankind in the Making, therefore, I tried to review the social organization in a different way, to consider it as an educational process instead of dealing with it as a thing with a future history. And if I made this second book even less satisfactory from a literary standpoint than the former, and this is my opinion, I blundered, I think, more edifyingly, at least from the point of view of my own instruction. I ventured upon several themes with a greater frankness than I had used in Anticipations, and came out of that second effort guilty of much rash writing, but with a considerable development of formed opinion. In many matters I had shaped out at last a certain personal certitude, upon which I feel I shall go for the rest of my days. In this present book, I have tried to settle accounts with a number of issues left over or opened up by its two predecessors, to correct them in some particulars, and to give the general picture of a utopia that has grown up in my mind during the course of these speculations as a state of affairs at once possible and more desirable than the world in which I live. But this book has brought me back to imaginative writing again. In its two predecessors, the treatment of social organization had been purely objective. Here, my intention has been a little wider and deeper, in that I have tried to present not simply an ideal, but an ideal in reaction with two personalities. Moreover, since this may be the last book of the kind I shall ever publish, I have written into it as well as I can the heretical, metaphysical skepticism upon which all my thinking rests, and I have inserted certain sections reflecting upon the established methods of sociological and economic science.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?